Hi guys, today's video is all about signs that you are in a healthy relationship. There are 7 important steps that really help you identify that you are participating in a healthy relationship. So I'm going to go through each one. Several weeks ago, or probably months ago, I did a video on signs that you are in an unhealthy relationship. So I thought it'd be good to pair it now with signs that you're in a good relationship. So the 7 signs are this. You make your relationship a priority and create rituals of connection that help you connect in the everyday life. That's step 1. Step 2 is you're laughing together. Step 3 is that you work through conflict. Step 4 is that you make intimacy and your sex life a priority. Step 5 is that you respect each other. Step 6 is that you give each other the benefit of the doubt, and step 7 is you find a balance of independence and togetherness in the relationship. So those are the 7 steps, and I just briefly want to go through what each step is, give you a little bit more information. So step 1 is making your relationship a priority and creating rituals of connection. This one is, I think, the most important one that we can do almost every day. I mean, they're all really important, but this one what I find couples really struggle with in terms of we get really busy and really caught up with other parts of life, whether it's our jobs or family or parenting or whatever's happening, that we stop connecting to our partner. And then we wake up one day and we don't really know who our partner is anymore. So we need to find ways in our relationship to create ways to connect to one another, and most important, to connect to the relationship. So Dr. John Gottman talks a lot about this in his works. One of his books, The 7 Principles to Making a Relationship Work, he highlights really what different ways to connect. And one of the things that he says that I've talked about in a lot of my videos are small things often. Small ways that you connect to your relationship. And whether that's saying something that you appreciate about your partner for that day, or cuddling at nighttime before you go to bed, you have to make this a priority. So informal ways of connecting. And again, it's something small, 5 minutes a day. In our everyday lives, when we get so busy and focused, we do turn away from each other. So it's important to connect and, and remember, small things often. It's not the date night that saves the relationship, although it's important. It is the small ways that you make a commitment to turning towards one another. So again, some ideas are finding things that you appreciate about your partner for that day, holding hands, or if you're totally beat and you're just going to veg out and watch TV for the night, cuddle, touch each other. That's important. Plan a date night. A date night is also very important. Try something new. If maybe you're apart for the day, this is when a text message would be okay, as long as the text message is, hey, I miss you, or thinking of you, or something that you really like about your partner. All of those things are easy ways that you can connect. One of Gottman's suggestions is you find partings and greetings. So how do you say hello when you guys come home for the day, and how do you say goodbye when you leave for the day? So those are some examples of creating rituals of connection and how you make your relationship a priority. The second step is laugh together, and this is simple. You have to find ways to laugh. And laughter helps bring connection, it brings joy, especially in the chaos of life. When you turn towards your partner and you guys find funny things to laugh at, creating little inside jokes, that creates intimacy between you two. So it is important to find things to laugh together. Or, if you're in the midst of maybe a small fight and you can end it with laughter, that's a good sign. So, creating that relationship culture, as Dr. Gottman, again, he defines a relationship culture where there is playfulness and humor and kindness and compassion. All of those things really help us create that strong, solid foundation in a relationship. Step 3 is working through conflict. Now, I've done a couple of videos on conflict. I would suggest you go back and look at the fundamentals of conflict. But learning ways and strategies to help each other work through conflict. A couple of the biggest components is understanding the difference of perpetual and solvable problems, creating understanding in the relationship. It's important that you understand each other. And, you know, in Gottman's research, he does say, if we don't feel understood by our partner, we're not willing to compromise. So that's really important. Make sure you're creating understanding. Respect in conflict is also important. You know, some of the other steps, giving each other the benefit of the doubt. So finding ways, planning for breaks instead of attack, blame, criticize, defend. We affirm and appreciate daily. We breathe in the moment. We compliment daily, and we actually develop a plan. So if conflict arises and I'm really heated and overwhelmed, instead of staying in it, going into fight or flight, we plan for a quick break to kind of cool off, cool down, and think about what we want to say in order to come back to. So again, go back and check out that Fundamentals of Conflict video. It gives you a lot more explanation. But a sign of a healthy relationship is that you have a willingness to work through conflict and you understand one another, and there's empathy and validation within that as well. Step 4, you make your sex life and your intimate life a priority. Intimacy is two things. It's emotional and it's physical. And there's also non-sexual touch that are just as important. But in a relationship, we have to make it a priority. Again, we get caught up in the craziness of life, and you know, if we come home and want to have sex at night and then we're exhausted, you know, that's not going to happen. And so even if we're exhausted, what are ways that we can still connect intimately, whether it's an intimate conversation or non-sexual touch, you know, a hug, or just, again, going back and sitting on the couch, but making sure that we find ways to connect to one another is really important. I love Esther Perel. She talks about intimacy is into me, see. And I think that's a beautiful description of what we crave in a relationship. Is we want our partners to see into who we are and to understand. And when we stop making our relationship a priority, that connection stops, and we stop wanting to engage and seeing our partner in a deeper light. So making sure that we find intimate ways to connect through to one another. My suggestion is, if you find that you're kind of struggling in this area, I would have a couples meeting. And again, I did a little video on what a couple meeting is, but have a couples meeting and really sit down and start to talk about what intimacy means to you, you know, define it, and what are small and big ways that you'd like to connect with your partner through intimate connection. So that is a good start. But when you have intimacy and you make it a priority in your relationship, it's another sign that you are in a healthy relationship. The step 5 is respect each other. Respect is huge. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. When there is mutual respect in a relationship, it's a healthy relationship. When there's mutual trust, mutual understanding, it's a sign that you're in a healthy relationship, and that is a super important one. The opposite of respect is contempt. When we have disgust or when we think we're better, and according to Dr. Gottman, that's the number one sign of a divorce or a separation. And, you know, when we respect each other, we are in it together. We think highly of our partner, or even when we're in the midst of conflict, we have a commitment to stay in it together, and we don't talk negatively. We don't put the partner down. We don't name call, you know, those things. When we respect one another, even when we're really angry, we don't hurt or harm the other person with words. So respect in a relationship is super important. Step 6 is giving each other the benefit of the doubt. And this, again, it has to do with conflict. So like I said, go back and watch that Fundamentals of Conflict. But it's really when you're in a relationship, when you give each other the benefit of the doubt. So if my partner forgets to buy milk on his way home, I don't think, you know, I think, oh, he just forgot. You know, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. If I jump into like, oh my God, he always does this, or he's doing that, you know, he just forgot the milk because he didn't want to do it, and and then I get really mad at him because I think I'm taking it personal. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt, and then we're in a big fight. And usually what I see is when we stop giving each other the benefit of the doubt, it's because we've stopped creating intimacy, we've stopped creating rituals of connection. You know, we're not learning how to fight together. You know, all those things are starting to happen that kind of add up to disconnect in the relationship. So when we can give each other the benefit of the doubt, there's more positivity in the relationship, according to Dr. Gottman. There is that kindness. There's a willingness to work together. There's understanding. You know, I'm going to go back to those several times. So this another sign that you're in a healthy relationship is you give each other the benefit of the doubt. And the last step is you find a balance of independence and togetherness. And I think this one is huge. So what I want to say is you're in a healthy relationship when you're in a healthy place. And when you love yourself, when you know that happiness starts within, when you know that you're not responsible for your partner or your partner's happiness, you know, when you're grounded and when you feel like you're in a healthy place and you're participating in self-love, and you're participating in independent activities outside of your relationship that really fuel you and re-energize you, you bring that healthy peace back to your partner, back to the relationship. So in your relationship, every couple needs to decide and find out what that balance of independence and togetherness is. How do we take time for ourselves to really fuel who we are and make sure that we're participating in that self-love kind of stuff and feeling good about who we are so we can bring that back into the relationship. And equally as important is finding time to spend together. As I've said throughout this whole video, when we take time to nurture our relationship, it also makes it healthy. If I'm not finding time for myself, you know, or I'm not taking care of myself, then I start to not feel good, and I bring that to the relationship, which can be detrimental as well. Remember, it's not what your partner's doing or not doing, it's what are you doing that really fuels and helps the relationship. So this is another sign that you are in a healthy relationship when you're taking care of yourself, when you're nurturing yourself, and when you two together are creating that agreement that you're finding time for each other in the relationship and also for yourselves. So these are the 7 steps that are 7 signs that you're in a healthy relationship. Please comment below and let me know if you and your partner share something special that makes your relationship healthy or that makes it special. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get weekly updates. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's helped you identify if you're in a healthy relationship. And if you need a little fine-tuning, there's some good steps in there on what to look at and fine-tune for your own relationship. Have a great day.